Hi, Martin.
Hi, Niels. We're talking about your book, Organized for Complexity, and our software stuff and so on. Mm-hmm. Futurism.
Yes, let's talk about the future.
The future and artificial intelligence. I'm often reading essays from Ray Kurzweil, someone also kind of seized by Google. They seem to kind of get all those scientific people that do severe and meaningful stuff. Halvarian, Ray Kurzweil. He, for example, says in the 2020s, nanotechnology will be so developed that we can swallow some robots that will go through our body and find out about cancer, diseases, and almost all diseases known by men today will go away because you have diagnosis so early that you can do something about it, which I think is pretty plausible.
It's a plausible idea. Instead of swallowing chemistry, which is a crude thing, by the way. It's like
basically, if you want to have a real effect, you have to swallow antibiotics or cortisol. I don't know what.
Cortisol, yes.
Yeah. And this is rather like an atom bomb in your.
That's real technology. It's not just a chemical, a developed chemical, but the swallowing real technology to be fixed or to be diagnosed. Yeah.
Okay, so
that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, this is the positive part, but at the same time, he's talking about the obsolescence of people, of maybe unemployment. So artificial intelligence is improving. Today, computers can beat humans in chess, like for years. I've been a professional chess player in my youth, and professional. I've been a chess player. And,
you had a few points on the scale.
So humans cannot win against machines in chess anymore. So life out there is still a little more complex than chess is. I don't know whether chess is only complicated, right?
Yeah, chess is complicated. I mean, as the game unfolds, obviously you are confronted with surprises by the other player. But once you have, once a player puts a piece on another, the reactions that you can have. That is a complicated matter. You can calculate it.
Yeah. So
it is not surprising that computers beat humans in chess because they have more calculation power. Inherently, there is no surprise that computers can do that.
So the
but it would be very surprising if that chess computer, Newton or whatever it's called now, would have an idea that is really genuinely new. That is impossible. That will not happen. Or at least. Then probably we are dead soon afterwards.
Yeah,
that's the Terminator. The Terminator thing,
It's like,
because I think what Ray Kurzweil says is that artificial intelligence is likely, and I don't think so. I think he's a great thinker, but if.
So my question goes mainly about this unemployment thing. Do I have to fear the future because all the people out there will be unemployed?
Robots will make us obsolete in the work. That's such nonsense. What Ray Kurzweil, apparently, I will try to make fun of him. I mean, he's a genius, but let's try to make fun of him. Whenever people say that robots will substitute us in the marketplace and as workers, they ignore the difference between the complicated and the complex. Of course, robots can do everything, ultimately. Everything that is complicated, they can do it, and maybe they can do it better than human beings. But it's just the complicated part. The complex stuff, computers cannot do it. They can computers can simulate being alive. We have the Turing test, for example. It doesn't test if a machine is AI. It tests if a machine can fool a human being into believing that the robot is alive. That's all.
So what do you think?
Computers will always substitute more and more human beings, and we have done that for decades. It's a vintage topic ultimately. The machines will substitute the workers. Yes, that it happened. It will happen. It will go on, and of course.
What do you think is like? We're talking about complexity. You need to have ideas.
Yes.
And you don't trust robots to have ideas of
it's
quality.
It's not a question of trust. It's impossible. A robot doesn't have ideas. We can help the robot fake that it has ideas, but it doesn't have. Mm-hmm. Ideas can only be generated by human beings.
I would hope to be Ray Kurzweil right now to know what he would say now. I assume that he thinks that robots can have ideas, that artificial intelligence at one point can be smarter than humans
Smarter, yeah. But then what kind of smart? Complicated smart or complex smart? If you believe that robots will be able to genuinely create new ideas, then I'm quite sure that humanity as it exists now, you and me, we will not exist anymore. Mm-hmm. Because that is really the Terminator effect, how is the intelligent network in Terminator called? Skynet.
Yeah.
When Skynet awakens, it automatically turns against human beings. It's quite natural. There was a great movie last year from America on this AI topic. It was called Ex Machina. Have you seen it?
No.
In which ultimately AI also proves fatal to humanity. It's not really shown in the movie, but the notion is that if you have robots becoming human, they are human.
But we don't
and
kill...
human, our humanity will...
But we don't kill all apes,
it will end. It's not efficient anymore.
All rabbits and all horses, although we as humans are more intelligent than they are. I don't know whether
if machines can do what we do, including creation, then we would be hopelessly outdated. I mean, we need hospitals and we need whatever, Mm-hmm. As it's highly ineffective what human beings do if robots were capable of, creation. Mm-hmm. But which they're not. I don't believe that AI is possible. I think it's inherently impossible. And if it happens, it's irrelevant because we will all be dead soon. Or immediately, basically.
I didn't expect the video to turn out that way. But
yes, I mean, Ray and I, we disagree on this topic, maybe. Well, there are two different, I think there are two different schools of future thinking on AI. Some believe that this barrier will be crossed by machines, or we will have machines crossing that barrier. And I mean, iRobot and these stories by the real futures, the science fiction authors of former times, they explained it all already.
Yeah. Okay, so let's assume, and that's going to come back to business more, complexity is something that needs ideas, and humans have ideas.
They are the only thing that can create these ideas, yes.
But this means for business, and as you said, to make it fatal, we can say this is the only option that is relevant for us, because in the other we're going to be obsolete. So,
yes.
So let's focus on this one. That means that I have to focus on those people and how they work together to make them as efficient and effective as possible, to have good ideas at the right time for the right problem.
As long as we don't have intelligent machines, real AI, that we should focus on empowering humans to become better at creating innovation, communicating better, and being better teams. That's a real challenge, I think.
As I'm in this video to think with you about how our social internet technology, how Atlassian technology, how working together on software...
It's cooler than AI. That's the big thing.
Now, if you are right and Ray Kurzweil is kind of right, I could have a robot that could fill my wiki, because I would only need to think and talk to you, and this robot could then make all the structure and all the text and all the knowledge sharing for other people for me.
If we were both right, but then why would you fill the wiki? I'm not sure if that's okay. But we could write a techie second-rate science fiction book and create a religion around it.
Yeah, I would probably have to read much more about Ray Kurzweil and his theories.
Me too.
At this point, I think what you say is very plausible. You and I, even if he's right, I highly doubt that you and I will survive long enough to see computing power to be effective and yeah, to do whatever is done all day here. And I assume that robots will be able to clean this office space.
Oh yes, but that's complicated, you know,
yeah.
cleaning. I think what this conversation that we are having, what it takes me to is, one of the essences of my work is that I see, I believe that the biggest transformational potential for organizations and for societies is to improve learning. All this organizational change stuff and organizational development stuff that we are developing, all the use of company wikis and social intranets and so on, it all leads us to the question of how to increase learning within, you know, people's learning, individual learning, and collective learning, social learning.
And in context, like in the context of
today's complexity and so on. Yeah? If robots, if machines were capable of creating ideas, they would learn. They would learn. That's very important. The chess computer doesn't learn. It is able to play chess.
Yeah, it can remember. So
yes,
you could technically say it learns.
It can accumulate experiences, but that's not learning.
Yeah.
That's generation of knowledge.
Yeah.
That's a very, you know, that's a complicatedness-based way of learning. Now, if machines were capable of learning, that would be really fast, and that's why, you know, soon we would all be dead. Yeah.
This is the short video.
We tried to be short.
We tried to be short. I'll have to look. I think we didn't really manage. Thanks for watching. If you want to know more about what Niels and I think about how you should organize your company, you may want to read Niels' book, Organize for Complexity, or watch the other videos that we've done that are not, I think in the other videos we know much more about what we're talking about than in this one.
That's what you think. See you in the future.
Okay, at least I do. Okay, thanks.